Hello, it's Coreyemmah here, and I have another video for you for YouTube Pagan Challenge, and the topic for this week is: do you have spirit, power or familiar animal? Yes, I'd say that on a path of most of us are many animals which are walking a part of our journey with us. And there might be also one or a few animals which are our spirit animals, power animals, maybe familiars, and definitely they can always be a totem animal. There are slight differences between all these types of animals. I have to say that I used to have a cat as a pet. Now she lives with my parents. But I'm sorry for the wind, I apologize. But she never became my familiar. She never became some kind of animal who would be helpful to me during rituals, or who would have any kind of magical role in my practice, except that it was black cat and she was just cool. Yeah, I have and I had plenty of animals which were connected with my path at some of its points. Which were helping me with finding some kind of my own abilities and skills, and which were providing me with some kind of energy. And these animals are showing in different times, and then they disappear. Sometimes they come back, sometimes they just don't stay with me for no longer. These animals, you can meet them as the symbols around yourself. You can keep meeting them in the nature, you can keep seeing their symbols somewhere, even in the city. You can also find them during meditations or during shamanic journeys. And they are simply sending you, bringing you some kind of message about yourself and about your connection with gods, and about things on which you can work during your path, on your spiritual journey. So I really appreciate all the animals and birds and fish and every living creature, and also the trees and plants and everything, which can be a symbol or archetype or some kind of type of energy which is brought into our lives, and which we are learning to handle and work with, and then create something new thanks to having this kind of knowledge or experience. I wanted to talk mainly today about my totem animal, which is the animal, which is the creature that is with you for your whole life or for most of your journey, even though you maybe didn't recognize it on the very beginning. Totem animals, totem spirits, so totem spirits can be also different insects, different birds, different fish, different trees and different plants. Old cultures had all these things that you can find in the nature as totem spirits. Totem spirits are ones who are supposed to be your grand ancestors. And as my totem spirit, I consider sea turtle. It took me some time to find out about her, but I was collecting gifts from my family and my friends, and some way it happened that it was always a turtle, and I still didn't feel it completely right, all those energies that were working with turtles. But at some point I received from my cousin sea turtle. Not alive, just like the amulet or talisman from journeys, from traveling. And in that moment I knew, wow, yeah, that's it. That's what I'm searching for. That's what I can feel in my past, in my great ancestry. And I did obviously loads of research about symbolism and mythology connected with sea turtle. I have a tattoo of sea turtle, which you could see in some video a few weeks ago. And I also have sea turtle that I draw on my Book of Shadows, and I have another one on my shamanic drum. So that's the main animal which I work with, which is like in behind as my ancestor. And I feel her as an ancestor simply because she's connected a lot with Earth. If you've ever read any book from Terry Pratchett, or if you read some mythology from India, you can find leads which are saying that people thought at some point, or in some fantasy world, that the world is actually on the back of sea turtle, of really huge giant sea turtle, which is flying or swimming through the universe. And since I have really huge connection with Earth, I also appreciate and I also pray to other realms and worlds, but Earth is my home. So sea turtle connected with Earth, representing the Earth, is for me the totem animal, the spiritual totem, which I consider the main thing, the spirit which is all around and which is still with me. So that's the reason why I chose this symbol. And also when I finally chose it, when I created that tattoo, which was really like a huge step on my path, on my journey, I went through several changes which told me, yes, this was the great step, this was something that you were supposed to do, this is something that works. And even though there are many animals which can be more powerful or more mysterious and more magical, and which I love, it can be wolves, it can be cats, it can be anything. Magpies are really something that I like, some kind of bird that I really like as well. Rabbits, hares, and other creatures. There can be so many of them which are very powerful and very believed in, and share and have really lovely symbolism. But this is my spiritual totem spirit, and I think that it's really nice to have some, or to not own it, but to find out which kind of energy really works for you as your kind of ancestor, as something which is really deep inside you, which is like your background. So that's from my side about animals which can be around us during our magical journey, and see you soon.